Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Dylan. Today, I wanted to start a two-part video series that I'm going to share on this channel. The video series is based off of how to change your life. I'm probably going to name these videos something like "Do this for 6 months and watch your life transform," something along those lines. And it is true, because if you do what I detail in these two videos and you apply it every day, it will change your life. In the second video, the one I'm going to post after this one, I'm going to explain how to change your life, how to apply these things, and I'll give you extremely practical ways to do it. I'll give you multiple tips that have helped me. I'll even give you like a list of things that will help you. I'm not going to give too much away. You'll have to stick around, for that one when I post it a couple days after this one. But in that video, I'm going to detail the practical application of how to change your life. But in this video, I'm going to lay the foundation of why these things work, why what I'm going to share in the second video works, and why it changes your life. Or I guess a better way to say it is how it changes your life. So, without further ado, I'll just get into it. I'm going to try to keep this video short, so we'll see how it goes. But I've talked about this in a lot of my other videos. I mean, it really is just the basis, the fundamentals of how to change your life, how to change yourself is changing your beliefs. I've talked about how I have a video about it, one of my first videos, I think, how our beliefs create reality. I've definitely grown in my understanding since then, so I'll explain it very quickly. But our beliefs is just a thought that we think over and over and over again, and we accept it as true. And our beliefs shape our reality because they shape our perspectives, and they influence our emotions, they influence our thoughts, and they influence our decision making. If you didn't believe, which I'm sure you don't, but if you didn't believe that you could walk on water, would you go take a course on how to walk on water? Of course not. And so, if you don't believe, to put into a more practical example, if you don't believe that you can make $1 million a year, are you ever going to go try to learn how to make $1 million a year? Of course not. And so that is a very simple explanation of how our beliefs create our reality. And our beliefs come, or not come from, but they're stored in our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind, it's about 95% of our entire mind. Our 5% is our conscious mind, 95% is our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is it controls our body. Like, you don't have to think about your heart, like pump, pump, pump. It's controlling that. It controls our nervous system. It controls just about every automatic functioning in our body. And it also controls every automatic functioning in our minds. It controls the way we unconsciously, automatically think about things. If you're going to the grocery store, you're trying to pay for a grocery bill that maybe is higher than you expected. You just have automatic thoughts coming up, maybe fear of you're not going to have enough money to pay your bills or whatever it is. Those are a manifestation of a belief that you held in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind spits out the thoughts related to it. Same if you have a poor just image of yourself or a bad experience in relationships. Like, the thoughts, the emotions you experience come from beliefs that you have in your subconscious mind. Now, I've explained that deeper in other videos, so if you want to understand that more, go check out my other videos. But in this video, I'm going to continue to explain why this is so important. So, I will give just a brief example of when you are learning to drive a car. You got to be very aware of how much you're pressing on the gas, very aware of how much you're pressing on the brake, very aware of, like, okay, I'm about to take a left turn signal. I got to look, got to check my mirrors here, here, here. I got to look over there, put my left turn signal on, and then turn the car this much, and then I got to turn it back, and then I got to press the gas with the brakes, etc. I mean, if you've ever driven, you know what I'm talking about. The first couple of weeks or the first couple of months that you are learning how to drive, you really have to be fully aware of everything you're doing because you've never done it before. And then after a couple of months, after a couple of years of driving, you can get to the point, and everybody gets to the point where you can be blasting music, like you're hardly paying attention to the road consciously. You're blasting music, you're thinking about what you're going to eat, or maybe you're talking to somebody on the phone fully involved in the conversation, and the whole entire time you're involved in the conversation, you're doing everything you need to do. You're pressing the gas, you're braking so you don't hit the cars in front of you. And I'm sure you've experienced this as well. Maybe you've been driving home or to work, somewhere you go consistently, and 5 or 10 minutes of the drive, the last 5 or 10 minutes of the drive, you get home and you're like, whoa, I just realized I was not aware of myself driving at all. I'm home now. What the heck? Like, I don't remember how I got here. Of course you remember, because you've taken the same route, but like, what is the mechanism for that? How does that happen? It's because you've done it so many times that it just is a automatic program, an automatic behavior, an automatic action and thought process in your mind, in your subconscious mind. And that is just a very simple example of how we change our life. As I said, our subconscious mind is 95% of our mind. Our conscious mind is about 5%. So, simple math, our minds control our lives. If you don't believe me, if you're ever going to go make some dinner or go to the bathroom, you have a thought like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And then you go walk up and go to the bathroom. Or if you have a thought of, oh, I want to get a different job, then you start applying to jobs. So the thought always precedes any action in this world. Therefore, our minds control our lives, or our mind, not plural, our mind controls our lives. And our subconscious mind, as I said, is 95% of our mind. Therefore, it controls about 95% of our life. And that makes it extremely important. And I know that if you're watching this, you will understand what I'm saying when I say that science estimates we have about 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. How many of those are you aware of? How many of those thoughts are you aware of? Probably less than a couple thousand, probably like a couple thousand maximum. And so the rest of them that are just going on autopilot throughout the day, they still happen. It still repetitively happens. We think 90% of the same thoughts every day that we thought the day before. And that's why our lives stay in the same trajectory. And that's why the subconscious mind is so important, because if we want to change those repetitive habitual thoughts that we have around money, around our relationship, around ourselves, we have to change the beliefs that we hold in our mind and the neural networks in our brain as well, because that is where they're physically stored in our body, if you want to say that. Neuroscience talks about it. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but the thoughts that fire together wire together. And so if you think a thought over and over and over again, you do an action over and over and over again, it wires it more and more and more, and then the subconscious is able to take it over, take control of it, and it happens automatically. And that's why 95% of our life is unconsciously controlled. I mean, have you ever tried to stop doing something or start doing something? Like, you want to start going to the gym, but you haven't been doing it, and you don't stick to the habit for long enough, then you fall off. And then, if you want to start going back to the gym, it feels like you have to start over again. That's because you didn't do it long enough. You didn't repeat it long enough to get that programming in the subconscious mind to have it just be an automatic behavior. And so why am I sharing all this? It's because our mind controls our reality. Our subconscious mind makes up 95% of our reality. And guess what? You're not a victim to it. Yes, you have the beliefs and the automatic thoughts and behaviors that you have right now, and that's okay. Wherever you're at, whatever you have, but you're not a victim to it. You can change it. And that's why I'm making these videos for you guys. So I want to share something quickly from this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. I highly recommend it. I've read through it one time. I've read through it before, and I'm just revisiting it because it's been a while. But this is just an example or an explanation of how our conscious and subconscious minds interact together and how they differ from each other as well, and why this is important. I'll share after. So it says, the conscious mind is like the navigator or captain at the bridge of a ship. He directs the ship and signals orders to men in the engine room, who in turn control all the boilers, instruments, gauges, etc. The men in the engine room do not know where they are going. They follow orders. They would go on the rocks if the man on the bridge issued faulty or wrong instructions based on his findings with the compass or other instruments. The men in the engine room obey him because he is in charge and issues orders which are automatically obeyed. Members of the crew do not talk back to the captain, they simply carry out orders. Again, it says, the men in the engine room do not know where they are going. They follow orders. In this illustration, in this metaphor, the captain of the ship is our conscious mind. That's the 5% of our mind that we are able to consciously control. That's why it's called conscious. And our conscious mind is the captain of the ship, which gives orders to the men. What is it? The men in the engine room. And the men in the engine room is our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind takes orders from the conscious mind and directs our life and our thoughts and our beliefs and our emotions in the direction that the conscious mind tells it to go. Now, throughout our younger years, this happened without our discretion. We didn't choose to get these negative beliefs about ourselves or about society or about men or about women or about money or whatever you may hold. We got them from other people, just repeating them over and over and over again. But as I said, we're not a victim of our circumstances. And because we know that our conscious and subconscious minds work this way, that our conscious mind is the captain of the ship and the subconscious mind is the one that takes the orders and steers the ship in the direction the conscious mind tells it to go in, then we're able to change our subconscious programs. We're able to direct our lives. We are the captain of our ship. We are the masters of our destiny. And as I was explaining earlier, if you need more evidence, go look it up. There's tons of science, psychology, neuroscience, neurobiology, etc., that proves that repetition is how you rewire your brain. Repetition is how you change your mind, how you change your subconscious mind. And so if you have a subconscious mind or subconscious belief around money, that money's hard to make, that's where over time your conscious mind directed your subconscious mind, likely without your discretion, as I said, that money's hard to make, so that's where your subconscious is just going. And your conscious mind thinks your subconscious mind brings these thoughts up in your mind, and then you accept and believe it as true simply because you've thought it for so long and you've experienced the things that you created from these thoughts, whether they were yours or not in the first place. And then the conscious mind relays it back to the subconscious mind, and you just continue in that same direction of money's hard to make. Oh, relationships are hard. Men are there's no good ones left out there, whatever it may be. And so in order to change that, we have to interrupt that relaying of information. We need to cut the old neural networks. We need to stop firing and wiring the thoughts, the beliefs that we don't want to have and that we want to stop experiencing. And we need to start firing and wiring thoughts and beliefs that we want to experience. And how do we do this? Well, that's why we have a conscious mind. Humans have been absolutely blessed with this. Animals don't really have a conscious mind. They're mostly subconscious and instinct, like 99+%. And even then, they don't have thoughts in the same way that we do, as far as we know. But our conscious mind is the captain of our ship. So we need to, if you want to change your perspective, your beliefs, your relationship, your experience around money, relationships, your self-image, whatever it may be, you become aware of these subconscious thoughts and beliefs that are playing in your mind, that are steering you in this direction, that you've been going for however long, and you choose to, once you become aware of them, to stop, to cut it off and to change them. And as I was saying earlier, how have we always programmed our subconscious? How have we always gotten anything to be a belief in our subconscious mind? Repetition. Advertisers know this. I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories, but advertisers know this. The media companies know this. Television networks know this. Big corporations know this through their marketing and their advertising. Repeat these things over and over and over and over. Repetition is what gets it into the subconscious mind. And so, if you want to change your life, you have to change your subconscious programs. And the way to do that is through conscious repetition of what you actually want in your life and taking your attention, your energy, your awareness, your focus off of the things that you don't want anymore. And so, as I said, in the next video, I'm going to explain how to do this more in depth. This is more so the why, kind of, as I said, building the foundation of why we want to change our subconscious mind, why we want to direct our thoughts, why we want to do these things, because that's the best and really not even the best, is literally the only way to change your life is through changing the beliefs in your mind and the thoughts in your mind and the feelings and the perspectives in your mind. And we do that, we change the subconscious, automatic, habitual thoughts and beliefs with our conscious mind. Same way we learn how to drive a car, we consciously were driving, taking in all this stimulus and this information and learning, okay, when I'm turning left, I turn signal on, look here, look there, turn, gas, brake, etc. Until it became to the point where I don't have to think about it. I can literally have a conversation with somebody else, and then my brain, my subconscious mind knows exactly what to do, exactly the speed to go at, and exactly how the distance I need to start braking at and all that stuff. We did that so much that we don't have to think about it anymore. And that is the same exact mechanism for everything in our lives, for every thought, every belief, every habit in our lives. And so I hope that you guys understood what I was saying. I tried to relay it very simply. It really is simple. It's not that complicated. And I hope that, as I said, I hope it made sense to you. I hope to see you on the second video that I'm going to post a couple days after this one, because that one is really the most important one. Going to learn how to apply all these things that I was just talking about. I'm going to give you tips, specific practices you can do, and things that I personally have experienced that doesn't work for me and that does work. And so I'm going to share all that in the second video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one, and you better be there so you can learn how to apply this shit in your life and change your life in 6 months or less, bro. I mean, you really can. You can do it in less time than that, but as long as you have the strong enough why, and I hope this video gave you a strong why, because guess what? If you don't change these things, you're going to continue in the same direction. If you don't change your conscious thoughts, you're going to continue going in the same direction you have been for however long. So please stick with me for the next video. Apply it and change your life. And I'll see you there. Peace.